Hey guys, welcome back to Your Mindset, Your Power. Let me tell you, today's conversation is probably going to be a little uncomfortable, my friend. Trust me, for me too. Because let's be completely honest, we all judge, right? Like 24/7, for real. You probably judged someone today. Or should I say, we probably judged someone today. That's better, right? Maybe someone didn't text you back, and instead of thinking, she or he probably got busy, you thought, ah, that is so rude. Maybe it was scrolling Instagram. You saw someone wearing something you would never in your life put on, and you instantly had a whole opinion about them. Or maybe, and I think this one is universal, it was at the grocery store looking at someone's cart like, really? That's what you're feeding your family? We all did this, right? Every single day, multiple times a day. And here's the thing. Most of the time, we don't even notice we're doing it. It's like breathing, automatic. So today, I want to talk about something that is so human, so universal, and honestly, so hard to stop doing. Why we judge other people, what's actually behind it, and why, once you understand it, you might start showing yourself and others a lot more compassion. So, let's start talking about why. Why our brains do this. Here's the thing I want you to know, my friend. Judging people isn't a character flaw. It's not necessarily because you're a bad person. The problem is that your brain is literally wired to do this. Oh, yeah, there we go, our brains again. Well, here's the reality. Thousands of years ago, your brain needed to instantly assess threat, friend or enemy, safe or dangerous. You know, that snap judgment reflex kept your ancestors alive. It's a survival mechanism, not a personality defect. The problem is 2026. You are not running from a hungry tiger trying to survive, right? But your brain still fires those same anxious alarms, except now they're aimed at someone's outfit, their parenting, their relationship status, or the person in front of you in a line who's taking so long. Your brain categorizes people in milliseconds, my friend. It's fast, it's automatic, and a lot of time is wrong. And here's the thing. Judgment isn't new. Our grandparents judged people too, but they judged the neighbor down the street, maybe someone at church. Now we judge hundreds of strangers a day. We scroll past more lives in 5 minutes than our grandparents encountered in a month. We see a people's fashion taste, their vacation, their career choices, all stripped of context, tone, and not knowing the backstory and reasons. And our brain does what it does best, makes a snap decision. Except now, it's not just happening quietly in our heads. We're commenting it on social media, we're reposting it, we're sending it to a group chat, right? And it's not just judging people we see, my friend. It's judging people we disagree with also. Social media has made it so easy to scroll past someone's opinion and instantly decide, they're so ignorant or dramatic or it's just not worth listening to, without ever asking why they think the way they think. So basically, what I'm trying to say is that social media pours gasoline on a fire that was already burning. We were already wired to judge fast. Now, we have been handed an endless stream of new material to judge every single day nonstop. No wonder we're exhausted. No wonder we're so divided, right? And listen, nowhere does judgment show up faster or more obviously that in the way some people look at you. Let me explain that. You know that person? Maybe you have one in your life too, who, when they're talking to you or you're talking to them, their eyes are doing a full scan, top to bottom. Every pore, every wrinkle, every inch of your body. You're literally mid-sentence, and the second you pause, that's when it comes out. Your skin looks a little dry today. Your pores look open. Have you gained weight? And it's not just your body, my friend. You probably know that person that the minute they walk into your house, you can see them doing the scan. The decoration analysis. Is it clean, touching all the tables? Is it organized? Meanwhile, you're just trying to have a normal conversation and very excited to have them over, and they're running an inspection. I used to let that bother me, my friend. Now, I really don't anymore. I simply laugh because, honestly, I don't think that's about me at all. I think it's a habit for some people. Maybe insecurity, maybe a little jealousy. Who knows? But instead of judging them for doing that, it made me start wondering what is actually behind that. So let's talk about that. What's really behind it? Because here's something I really believe. I want you to think about this for a moment. Most judgment isn't actually about the person being judged. It's about the person doing the judging. Psychologists actually have a name for part of this. It's called projection. It's when we see a trait in someone else that we are uncomfortable with in ourselves. And instead of dealing with it internally, our brain points it outward. We criticize them so we don't have to look at us. Think about it for a second. The person who's constantly commenting on other people's appearance, ask yourself, are they confident in their own? Probably not as much as they want you to think, right? The person who can't stop judging other people's parenting or relationship, a lot of times that's really about their own doubts about their own parenting or relationship, not actually about the other person at all. It's almost like judgment is a mirror, except instead of looking into it, people throw it at someone else so they don't have to look at themselves. And listen, I'm not saying this to excuse anyone's behavior. Some things people say are genuinely hurtful, and that's real. But understanding why someone does it can change how much power it has over you. Because once you realize, oh, this is not actually about me, this is about something going on inside them, it gets a lot easier to not take it personally, right? And not let it affect you. So we see someone's face, their actions, their choices, but we don't see what's happening behind the scenes. Their self-doubts, their fears, their own insecurities, they're trying to outrun. So when someone judges you, there is a good chance they're really just dealing with something inside themselves that has nothing to do with you at all. And here's where this gets real, really real. Think about when someone judges a coworker after a great presentation, or criticizes a friend for launching a new business or making a bold decision, or leaves a nasty comment under a stranger's post online. More often than not, that reaction has nothing to do with what that person actually did. It's about how it made the critic feel. Watching someone else succeed, take a risk, or do something brave can stir up some uncomfortable stuff. Like, why haven't I done that? What does that say about me? And instead of sitting with that discomfort, it's so much easier to just put the other person down instead. I really believe this. More often than not, when people judges or criticizes you publicly, it says more about where they are than where you are. Someone who feels genuinely good about themselves rarely needs to tear someone else down to feel good. Well, and okay, that brings me to talk about that one nobody wants to admit. Jealousy. Yep, jealousy is sneaky, my friend. And it doesn't usually show up labeled as jealousy. It shows up disguised as judgment, as criticism, as I'm just being honest here, or I'm just looking out for you. Sounds familiar? And it shows up everywhere. Friendship, co-workers, even inside families. Siblings comparing whose life turned out better, family members who can't just be happy for you when something good happens, or friends feeling the same way. Instead, they find something to pick apart. Here's the psychology behind it. Jealousy usually comes from comparison. When someone else's life, choices, or success highlights a gap in our own. Something we wanted but don't have, or a risk we wish we had taken. It's uncomfortable. And instead of sitting with, wow, I admire them, I'd actually love that for myself too, it's so much easier to find something wrong with the person who has it. It's basically your brain, again, your brain, trying to protect you from feeling less than. Except, instead of motivating you, it just makes you smaller and makes someone else feel smaller too. And here's the thing. Sometimes people know exactly what they are feeling. That little pit in your stomach, when someone is doing really well. A lot of us have felt that and known exactly what it was. That jealousy isn't always hidden, my friend. Sometimes we feel it out loud and clear. We just don't say it out loud. Instead, it comes out disguised as helpful criticism. And listen, feeling jealous isn't even the problem. We all have said, I'm jealous of you in a good way, right? Meaning, I admire you, what you're doing. I would love to be like you. And I'm genuinely happy for you. And that's healthy, right? That's human. We all have that feeling, sometimes. The real problem is when jealousy doesn't get acknowledged. When instead of admitting deep down, like I'm struggling with how I feel about this, it gets repackaged as criticism of the other person instead. And I want to be clear. This is very different from positive feedback given with the best intentions. That kind of feedback is healthy and genuinely helpful. And I'm talking about something else, my friend. Criticism where jealousy is quietly running the show, whether the person admits it to themselves or not. So, if you have ever had someone, maybe a friend, a coworker, even someone in your own family who just couldn't be happy for you, who always had that, but I want you to consider, my friend, that maybe it was never really about you at all. Now, can I tell you something kind of funny and also kind of real? When you put yourself out there, you start posting on social media, maybe you start a business, anything new. You learn real fast who's actually happy for you, genuinely happy for you. Some people surprise you. Friends and family that are so supportive and really truly happy for you. And people who are not even your closest friends showing up with the most genuinely excitement. Like, I saw your post, how is it going? I'm happy for you. And you can feel that's real. And then there's the silence. people who follow every post, who you see in person sometimes, and nothing, not a word. Or sometimes it's not even silence. It's just a comment that just feel a little forced, Yeah, I'm sure you know. And here's what I want you to take from this, my friend. If you have ever felt hurt by someone's silence when you were excited about something, I want you to remember what we just talked about. That silence usually isn't about you. It's so much easier for someone to say nothing than to confront feelings that they don't even want to admit they have. So if this is you right now, my friend, just notice who shows up genuinely and let that be enough. No hard feelings. No. Okay. So now that we know why we judge, what we actually do with that? Ask yourself, what do we actually do with this? Because I'm not asking you to never judge again. That's not realistic, my friend. And honestly, your brain is going to keep doing its automatic thing no matter what. What I'm asking you to do is get a little more aware. Here's exactly how. First, catch it and name it out loud. Next time you feel that flash of judgment about someone's outfit, their choice, their opinion, actually say to yourself, I'm judging right now. Name it. Pull it out, because when you name it, it pulls you out of automatic or autopilot, right? The second you label it, you're no longer just reacting. You're observing yourself. That's the difference between being run by the thought and actually choosing what to do with it. Let's go to number 2. Replace the verdict with a real question. Instead of deciding, they're being ridiculous, or what's wrong with them? Literally ask yourself a specific question. One, what don't I know about what they're dealing with right now? Sit with it for a second. You will usually come up with at least one real possibility. And that alone will soften the judgment, my friend. Number 3, turn it inward. Ask yourself, is this actually about them? Or is this touching something in me? Am I insecure about this? Jealous of this? Scared of this in my own life? Very important. Turning inward. Number 4, reflect before you react. This one is simple, but it's so powerful. Most of what we judge in others is something we haven't fully made peace within ourselves. So before you say something or even just silently judge someone, pause and ask, is this actually about them? Or is this showing me something about me? Reflection, self-reflection, my friend. And 5, remember, you don't know the whole story. Everyone is carrying something you can't see. Behind every person you're tempted to judge, there is a whole life you know nothing about. All right, my friend, let's bring it all together real quick. We judge because our brains are wired to make fast decisions. It's survival, not a character flaw. Social media just gives us 1,000 more chances to do it every single day. We judge strangers on sight based on nothing but how they look or how they talk. And sometimes it's even people we already know who scan us up and down, our homes, our choices the second they walk in. Either way, often without knowing a single thing about what's really going on underneath. And underneath most judgment, insecurity, jealousy, comparison, something going on in the judges that has nothing to do with the person being judged. So awareness really is the whole game changer here. Catch it, get curious, turn it inward, and remember, you never know the full story, my friend. And here's what I know for sure. Nobody who's truly at peace with themselves needs to tear someone else down. Not online, not at the dinner table, not behind your back. So if you have been judged by a friend, a sibling, a stranger, anyone, that was never actually about you, my friend. That was someone else's unfinished business showing up in your direction. And if you have been the one judging, give yourself the same grace you're learning to give others. So have your boundaries, trust your discernment, but let go of the need to judge and the need to carry everyone else's judgment of you. And hey, next time you catch yourself judging someone's grocery cart, maybe ask yourself what your cart says about you. I am really happy we had this conversation today, my friend, because we all needed it, right? Let's share it with someone who also needs to become more aware of something we all do automatically every single day. Thanks so much for being here. And remember, your mindset isn't just what you think, it's where your power begins. Have an amazing week, my dear friend. I'll talk to you soon. Love you guys.